Hi, this is Atme with the US Chartbreakers here at TradersCafe.com for Friday the 1st of September. Starting off with the S&P, where we're still trying to push through the 45.20 zone above the rising 50-day moving average at 44.70. Above 44.70 feeling good in terms of a potential further move up to retesting the old July-August peaks towards 4600, and maybe we would see that sometime during the course of September, but end of day close back below the 50-day line risks a move down towards the main support here for this market, 43.30, but ideally we stay at least on the right side of that 50-day line on an end of day close basis. Moving along to the stocks, and starting off with a rather massive mover, one which is almost impossible to chart, but maybe worth having a look at anyway. Aditxt, and here you can see that we've broken through the 200-day moving average. That's there at $37. Above that, got the potential for a move up to $92 at the top of that broadening triangle from back in February. In terms of maybe any nearer support, with the old March resistance on the way down around $47, so maybe that is the first port of call if there is a dip for the shares. Moving along to something that's maybe a bit more straightforward, coming in the form of Caleres, and here you can see that we've had an unfilled gap to the upside, basically off the 200-day moving average area, and support coming in at old resistance around $27. Above $27, looking for the top of that rising trend channel from back in May, as high as $32 by the end of this month. The 50-day line now rising, just waiting for the 200-day line to do the same. On to Ciena, which has had a massive move, a nice move as well, which is bear trap island reversal, bear trap from below the old May support around $42, and then in fact an extra gap down after an attempted rally, but the gap higher through the 200-day line at $46. Like to see another end of day close or weekly close above the old resistance there from May, around that $49 level. Above that, we're looking for $54 by the end of this month at the top of a broadening triangle from back in April. Moving along to a stock which I have looked at recently, and check cap. Here we've got a rising trend channel. Just had to have another retest of support towards the $2.20 area, but above that, looks as though the shares will now finally head towards the top of that rising trend channel from back in March. $4.10, best case by the end of next month, maybe up to $5.10 at that higher upper parallel from the beginning of March. But key here is holding 220 on check cap. Stock which I haven't looked at before here, but hopefully will be a frequent flyer. Flora growth, bouncing off the floor of a broadening triangle there from back in April. The neckline resistance on the shares, I suppose, level with the 50-day moving average around $2.50. Looking for a target as high as $6.30 by the end of this month. The longer we can stay above that $2.50 zone. On to Flag, otherwise known as First Light. And here you can see that the shares have had a rather volatile rebound within a broadening triangle, which has been in place since the early part of June. I'm not sure whether many people would take this on, but at least in terms of the volatility there. But the view at the moment is that we do have the old support there from earlier last month, around $6.80. Above that, looking for initially the 200-day line, $10.15, and then hopefully up to as high as $14 by the end of next month, end of October, if all the jiggery-pokery that we're seeing at the moment pans out properly. You can see that the rally here started with the bullish divergence, which then gave us the key reversal to the upside yesterday. Next up, something which is not quite so dramatic. Genesco here, a bear trap island reversal, one of my favorite setups, and above resistance on the way down at 31.60. We're looking for the top of that rising trend channel from back in the early part of this year, back in March, as high as $51 by the end of next month, by the end of October. Obviously, there's a barrier there at the 200-day line at $36, but still hoping that this stock will make good on that very strong setup with the bear trap island reversal. Moving along to stock which has been in our sights for quite some time. MoneyLion, we had the breakout there, but obviously it faded back in April. Current situation, though, is we're looking for progress within a rising trend channel from back in November. That's heading towards $40, hopefully as soon as the end of next month, and hopefully while the shares remain above pre-breakout levels around $19, pre-yesterday's breakout levels around $19, so looking for 40 or above 19 on MoneyLion. Micovast is next, and here you've got basically a rising trend channel. I'll probably draw it more accurately than I have there. Rising trend channel from back in January, top of the channel heading towards $3.10, and that's valid while we hold above the floor of yesterday's gap at $1.90. Ideally, we stay above the 50-day moving average at $2.10, ahead of a move to $3.10 on that particular situation. Oragenics is the next contender and one of these broadening triangle bases here, rather volatile, I suppose, in the near term, but yesterday's key reversal to the upside, a massive move above recent neckline resistance to 320. We're looking for the shares to hit 480 by the end of this month, on the basis that we finally had the big turnaround for the stock. Obviously, a couple of false storms in the meantime earlier in the year. The next situation is Spire, and here rising trend channel base that's been in place since March, so it's been quite a long process here of consolidation near the lows, but again, key reversal to the upside through the 50-day moving average at $5, above $5, and the longer we stay above $5 on an end-of-day close basis, the greater the chance of $8 as soon as the end of next month. Quite a lot of resistance to conquer, especially that line there, but hopefully through the $5.30 area we should be on our way in a meaningful sort of trajectory. I looked at Sequel yesterday, and it's back again today after hitting the top of that broadening triangle that we were looking for at $30. Unfortunately, it came back almost to where we were at the beginning, but still decent up day, and still looking for further progress here while we're above $18 in the 200-day moving average. So still going for the $30 plus target on SEQLL. Next up, a stock which I have looked at of late, Telesat, and you can see the progress here with the unfilled gap to the upside. Great progress since there, with new support coming in at old resistance, and that's a great pattern to run with. That gives us the impression that above $18 we're looking for $24, which is what we have been looking for, hopefully by the end of this month, and perhaps even sooner than that. Last two are next, and first is Trxade. Here we've got an uptrend line there from back in June, bouncing off the 200-day moving average as well at around $6.70, and above $6.70 we're looking for not only the 50-day line at $9.30, but up to as high as $12 by the end of next month. But the key here is holding that 200-day line in the interim. Finishing off with Upland, and here the picture is one of a bear trap from below the May support area, so that was around $2.80. Looking for progress within a broadening triangle up to $4.80 by the end of next month, maybe a bit sooner on that. Like to see the shares break $3.90 and that old March resistance line, but the more time we spend above the 50-day line around $3.40, the greater the chance of a breakout here. That's it from me today. More updates early next week.